Bienvenidos al departamento de Sucre. Welcome to Sucre, a department nearly as diverse as the entire country of Colombia itself. This department is actually made up of 5 subregions, each with their own culture and food and nature. And I'm gonna do my best to experience a little bit of all of them. I'm also here just in time for the biggest celebrations of the year, Las Fiestas de 20 de Enero. First, I have to make my way to the capital of Sincelejo, and we've got a few regions to pass through first. So why not start out on the Caribbean coast? Okay, good morning. Welcome to Sucre. I think I might be staying at the coolest place I've found anywhere in Colombia. Let me give y'all a quick little home tour. So while I have my tent for changing and eating and everything, I actually slept here last night. So Rincón del Mar experiences 2 seasons, a dry season and a wet season, and the dry season can be super long. So this camp is super dedicated to using as little water as possible. Let me show you. Here we have the shower. This is the shower. This is what you use. Took a shower here this morning, and honestly, it was pretty nice. We even have a dry toilet here, y'all. Also, they have a little nature trail right down to the beach, so that seems like a good place to start off my time here in Sucre. So Rincón del Mar is often considered the gateway to Reserva Natural Sanguare, which is one of the most unique ecosystems in the entirety of Colombia. The preserve was actually created to aid in the protection of species threatened by habitat destruction, and these days is home to over 400 hectares of mangroves and forests filled with unique species. There's one species in particular that I'm really hoping I get the chance to see, but in order to see it, I have to wait for the sun to go down. The sea beyond Rincón del Mar is full of bioluminescent plankton known as dinoflagellates, who produce light as a form of defense. It honestly felt like swimming in the stars, but no video will ever do it justice. So I am passing through el región de Mote on my way to the capital of Sincelejo, and I decided to take a little pit stop along the road because there is a really cool waterfall here. The pit stop turned out to be kind of a reckless drive, but here we are.
Hola amigos.
Oh my god.
Una historia de amor.
We're gonna visit Salto el Sireno. I made some friends along the way. Hola! So I had full intention of having like a tranquil morning at the waterfall, but unfortunately Callie had a little issue on the way to Corralejas, and I got to the waterfall a little later than I meant to, which meant that instead of getting it all to myself, I got to share it with this group of very aguardiente drunk teenagers. So y'all, I have made it to Sincelejo, and my Airbnb has an air conditioning unit. But now I need to go find something to eat, and there's a dish I actually really want to try. Let's see if we can find it here in Sincelejo. So you can probably tell from the lighting change that some time has passed since I recorded that video. And that's because I went to like 3 different restaurants trying to find Mote de Queso, and I finally found some. But the restaurant was closing, so I had to get it to go. So Colombia actually has a very large Syrian Lebanese population, so a lot of the food in this region has some Arab influences. So Mote de Queso is kind of like a cheese soup. It's a yam-based soup, but it has big chunks of Costeño cheese in it, and also lemon and garlic. But the really unique flavor here is hojas de chupa, which is a species of cactus only found here in Colombia. I'm really excited about this. I love cheese. Gotta really dig around in there for those big chunks of cheese. That is amazingly delicious. That is so good. You could literally not make a more Jinnah-coated dish if you tried. Cheese, Arab influences, soup, kind of acidic cheese, so it has like a tang to it. Now, I have heard that sometimes the soup is served with chicharrón. So if you live in Sincelejo and can tell me where to go to get Mote de Queso with chicharrón, that sounds like a dream come true. This is so good. I've officially made it to Sucre's capital city of Sincelejo. So we've already touched on how diverse Sucre is as a department, but Sincelejo is a huge example of this. The city itself mostly grew up around the production of sugarcane and livestock, but due to its location along the Caribbean coast is home to a diverse number of stories. And I'm actually just in time for one of the biggest celebrations of all, El Festival de 20 de Enero. Now this festival is held every year in the name of Jesus Christ, but it's also a celebration of Spanish culture here in the region. And it's home to a number of events, from the well-known Corralejas to fandango dance and music. So let's go check it out. Okay, so one quick thing before we go to the Corralejas. So Corralejas are bullfights and they celebrate the Spanish heritage in this region of Colombia. They are central to the Festival de Enero and a huge part of the culture here every year. For full transparency with y'all, I am a bit uncomfortable with bullfights and cruelty towards animals in any form. I believe there can be a lot of gray area when it comes to cultural identity, but I still personally plan to approach going to this event with more of a journalistic take. And I don't actually plan to show any videos of animals, human or non-human, hurting one another. I totally get if this topic makes you uncomfortable altogether, so skip to right here if you want to just skip to the next bit of the video.
Una preguntita, ¿cuánto cuesta un poncho así?
Así 10.000.
10,000? Ok, un momentico.
So I've got my water, my sun protection, and most importantly, my beer.
Esto es una cultura de la costa. Es algo emocionante, lleno de adrenalina. La gente emocionadamente corre detrás del toro y sale el torero a torear. Es peligroso.
Sí,
es peligroso porque una cornada, son toros ya de varias plazas y ya ellos saben lo que tienen que hacer. Los amarran cuando ya están cansados para meterlos otra vez al torín y ya no salen más, sale otro toro nuevo. Un toro aproximadamente dura afuera unos 15 minutos.
How do you quick cut in from Jenna from the future? So the Corralejas are actually known throughout Colombia for how dangerous they are, but that is actually part of their appeal. So as compared to a Spanish-style bullfight with just one fighter in the ring, the Corralejas have multiple bullfighters as well as hundreds of fans in the ring at any given time. Participants provoke the bulls with a number of tricks, from the table of death to the barrel, and then run for the stance when the bulls charge. Obviously, this is incredibly dangerous, and every year there are injuries and even casualties from the Corralejas. The Corralejas are an extremely controversial topic even within Colombia, with many calling for an end to the fights altogether, whereas others argue it's an intangible part of Costeño culture. Listen, I'm just a gringa, so I can't speak on this from my own culture, but Colombians watching, I am curious to hear your thoughts in the comments, and let's get back to it.
Esto que se llama mecocha, ese es un dulce hecho de panela, limón. Se lanza al ruedo cuando el toro está cerca, para que la gente salga a buscarlo, como es delicioso para comer. No es apto para la persona diabética, que es muy dulce.
So sweet, so chewy. Muy buenos días, amigos. So I had the purest and fullest intentions to actively document more of the Corralejas last night. But the next thing I knew, I was adopted by a big group of Colombians and the aguardiente started flowing. Honestly, I love that pretty much everywhere I go in Colombia, people are so excited to share their culture with me. And here on the coast, that feels especially true, usually with aguardiente involved. Anyway, I got places to go, people to see today, so I'm drinking my water and let's hit the road. I came to this place called De Mi Tierra and I'm going to try a very typical breakfast. We've got arepa de queso, we've got yuca, and what I'm most excited for is we have chicharrón. Muchísimas gracias. That is fresh. So the chicharrón is a little different than some of the chicharrón I've seen elsewhere in Colombia. It is thick. It's deep fried meat, but it's less greasy because it's a little bigger and a little meatier, less of a like oily, greasy flavor. Don't get me wrong, I'm an American. I love anything fried. This is kind of the best of both worlds. Now, while the Festival de Enero celebrates the Spanish heritage in this region, people have called this department home for centuries. And perhaps the biggest example of this, el sombrero volteado. You've probably seen these black and white hats pop up throughout a few videos here in Colombia, but they are traditionally produced from caña flecha grown here in this region. The hats actually originate from the Zenu people, who are indigenous to the Colombian coast. The sombrero volteado was originally created as a form of protection from the intense Caribbean sun. However, they've gained so much popularity, you'll now spot them throughout all of Colombia.
La fabricación del sombrero volteado, que es con la palma de caña flecha. Esto es un proceso que se cultiva acá con el tiempo, bueno, la gente lo va trenzando y así nace el sombrero volteado. El sombrero volteado, a pesar que se comercializa en San Pues, actualmente se está fabricando en Tuchín. Cada pinta representa algo. Este es el diente de león. San Pues se caracteriza por ser un pueblo artesanal. Artesanías, muebles en general. Me ha gustado mucho la idiosincrasia sanpuesana porque el sanpuesano es muy creativo. Aquí tú le das un palo sanpuesano y te hace cualquier cosa.
Fácil para llevar y todo.
Sí, que se transporta.
¿Hay una bolsa específica para transportarlos?
Tú lo sientes.
One thing I love about the artisanal pueblos in Colombia is that whatever their thing is, they go all out. Like I'm here in the Parque Principal de San Pues, and all of the park benches have designs like sombreros volteados. So I'm gonna go learn a little more about the production and the behind the scenes of making a sombrero volteado. But to do so, I need to go to Tuchin, which is technically in Cordoba. So shameless plug, go watch my Cordoba video if you want to learn more about that process. It's the last night of the festivals and also my last night in Sincelejo, so I got my hot dog and I'm about to watch the coronation of the queen of el Festival de Enero. So in order to win the title of queen, one must be able to dance the fandango. Fandango dance originates from the Spanish tradition, but here on the Colombian coast also involves elements of indigenous and Afro-Colombian tradition, a folkloric dance that encapsulates the spirit of the region. So today I'm heading down to La Región de San Jorge and things are about to get swampy. I'm in the town of San Benito Abad, which is one of the largest Catholic pilgrimage sites in the entire country. However, this town specifically has been a site of pilgrimage long before the Spanish Inquisition. As we know, this department is the indigenous homeland of the Zenu people, who in this region specifically were known for the extensive canals that they built through the swamps. On the former site of San Benito Abad specifically, the Zenu people actually constructed an intricate temple called Takasuan, which was dedicated to the deity Ninhati. This temple became one of the largest sites of pilgrimage in the Zenu civilization. Following Spanish conquest of the area, the town of San Benito Abad was founded in 1669 by Don Benito Figueroa. Shortly after the foundation of the town, Figueroa ordered an icon of crucified Christ to be carved from dark wood, which was delivered to the town in 1678 following a long journey from Spain and continues to draw religious pilgrims from around the country. Perhaps the most notable celebration is September 14th, when religious pilgrims from Colombia and beyond gather in San Benito Abad to recognize the birthday of the Lord of Miracles.
Soy un nativo de aquí de San Benito. Me he quedado aquí vendiendo reliquias y yo pertenezco a la Asociación de Artesanos de San Benito. Nosotros fabricamos los denarios, las camándulas. Entonces aquí ya me quedé ya. San Benito, que aquí eran los españoles. En el 74 más o menos se independizó y entonces de ahí ya comenzaron a venir los curas de los colombianos. Aquí nos narran una historia. Vinieron 3 personas, alquilaron una pieza y oían como cuando estaban trabajando que eran carpinteros. Apenas salían a comer, pero eso sí, nunca se le vio si ellos se desaparecieron, o sea que no se oyeron más. Entonces encontraron las 3 cajas. Una caja que decía Villa de Tacazuán, que es Villa de Zaragoza, allá en Zaragoza, y Villa de Monpós. Ellos son 3. Esa fue una de las historias que nos contaron los antepasados, o sea, los viejos.
Vengan muchas personas para visitar.
Sí, aquí vienen todos los días gente, sí. Bastante personal.
Tengo como una preguntita más y es, ¿dónde necesito comer acá?
En el puerto se encuentran bastante. Aquí la gente viene por el Boca Chico.
¿Boca Chico?
Boca Chico es el pescado grande.
El pescado grande.
Y hay galápaga allá. Ya se consigue la galápaga.
¿La galápaga?
Esa es la jicoteca que dice.
¿Jicoteca como?
Como un sapo. Esa.
¿En serio? ¿Cómo comen?
No, eso la comen guisada.
Ok.
Guisadita.
Mi animal favorito. Pero voy a probar.
El Boca Chico.
Pero cójalo por la puntilla.
Mucho comida.
Este es bagre.
Ay.
Este es bagre. Este es blanquillo y este es bagre.
¿Cómo se llama?
Este es coroncoro. Está la cachama.
Okay, la cachama. So it turns out they only have jicotea on Sundays, and I'm not sure if that's a sign from the universe that the turtle lover in me just could not handle it. I'm sure it's delicious, but I ordered another typical dish, which is called cachama. It's basically deep fried fish.
Mira la cachama que te vas a comer.
Ooh! Let's try it out. I mean, it literally does not get fresher than this. I am sitting here eating this fish and looking out at the lake that it used to call home.
Ciénagas son como lagunas, sino que ellas en épocas de sequía, que no llueve mucho, el agua se va evaporando y entonces ellas se van secando.
Okay.
Y cuando vienen las épocas de lluvia, el río, que es el que las baña, viene y las inunda nuevamente. Como todo esto es de la subregión del San Jorge, tú vas a encontrar que son las ciénagas y los ríos, los caños.
His family at the restaurant has officially adopted me and is showing me all of San Benito Abad.
Este es un sitio mágico, un atractivo turístico que se llama El Repuntón. Invitamos a toda la gente de Colombia y del mundo entero a que vengan a visitar este sitio mágico.
Look at all these birds! It's so beautiful. So the fifth and final region of Sucre is called La Mojana, but unfortunately I just don't think I have time to make it there on this trip because I basically have to cross the swamp and then the road just ends. I really do hope I'll have the chance to come back though. I really loved this region way more than I thought I would. I was actually really pleasantly surprised by the natural beauty here in the swampy part of the department, and I think it gets kind of outshined by the coastal beauty because that's what more people visit. I also met the friendliest family in the entire world, so if you ever find yourself in San Benito de Abad, eat at Puerto Bello and say hey to Mimi and me. Honestly, this feels like such a good way to end my time in Sucre, and I'm so grateful for all the people that I met and the foods that I ate. This department is so amazingly diverse, but one thing that all of the regions share is that I think I might have encountered the friendliest people in all of Colombia. So with swamps and beaches and bullfights under my belt, my time in Sucre has come to an end. But let me know, what did I miss in Sucre and which department should I visit next? Esto es todo por Sucre, nos vemos en el próximo video.